The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. Jesus said to his disciples, "To you who hear, I say, love your enemies. Do good for those who hate you. Bless those who curse you. Pray for those who mistreat you. To the person who strikes you on the cheek, offer them the other one as well. And from the person who takes your cloak, do not withhold even your tunic. Give to everyone who asks of you, and from the one who takes what is yours, do not demand it back. Do to others as you would have them do to you. For if you love those who love you, what credit is that to you? Even sinners love those who love them. And if you do good to those who do good to you, what credit is that to you? Even sinners do the same. If you lend money to those from whom you expect repayment, what credit is that to you? Even sinners lend to sinners and get back the same amount. But rather, love your enemies and do good to them, and lend, expecting nothing back. Then your reward will be great, and you will be called children of the Most High, for he himself is kind to the ungrateful and to the wicked. Be merciful, just as your Father is merciful. Stop judging, and you will not be judged. Stop condemning, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. Give, and gifts will be given to you. A good measure, packed together, shaken down, and overflowing will be poured into your lap. For the measure with which you measure will in return be measured out to you." The Gospel of the Lord.
This is always a difficult gospel to hear because it really challenges us to be, as Jesus says, merciful as your Father is merciful. As we prepare in just a week and a half to begin our Lenten season, the season of mercy and the season of prayer, we focus a lot, as we should, on our own reconciliation with God, on our own turning back to God anew, being reconciled with him in receiving his mercy, receiving his love, his forgiveness, and his peace. But when we do that, a lot of times, and I know for me, it's hard to share that gift once we've received it. To be merciful to the one that we have difficulty with, to the person who has wronged us, to the person who has sinned against us. Jesus is telling us we are called to have that same mercy for that person. And so many times, I think we find ourselves trapped, find ourselves very hard to offer that same forgiveness as we have received. And reflecting on this, Pope Francis, in the Joy of the Gospel, said this. He said, "What these passages make clear is the absolute priority of going forth from ourselves towards our brothers and sisters, as one of the two great commandments which ground every moral norm, and as the clearest sign for discerning spiritual growth in response to God's completely free gift." God's gift of mercy is completely free. God's gift of forgiveness for us, despite our sin, despite our imperfection, despite our own wrongdoings, God still freely loves us, freely gives of his mercy, and he simply asks us to do really one thing. As Pope Francis points out, the great commandment, love your neighbor. Your neighbor is the one who may be your enemy. Your neighbor is also your friend. But we are called to go out of ourselves and to share that freely given gift to others. And so it's a response of love. It's a call to love. It's a call to mercy that we are privileged to carry out in our Christian life. This response to God's mercy and love. So my maybe thought for myself, I know, and maybe for all of us as we prepare for this Lenten season that draws us into that great mystery, the mystery of God's love and endless mercy, that we can think of the one or the two people or multiple people that we have trouble forgiving, that we have trouble showing mercy to and love to, and maybe take another step on the road to forgiveness and reconciliation with them. Because as we freely receive, we are also called to freely give. And in John Paul II's encyclical letter, The Gospel of Life, he says this. He says, to respond to the immediate need of our friends promptly and with no expectation of repayment, the height of this love is to pray for one's enemies. By doing so, we achieve harmony with the providential care of God. As we receive mercy, so we are called to give it so that it can be in harmony, so that it can make sense, so that it can really be fully lived out each and every day. So let us seek that harmony, the harmony of great mercy, the harmony of great reconciliation and love that God freely gives to us. Let us freely give it to one another, no matter the cost, no matter the person or the situation. We are called to go out of ourselves and to share the free gift.